Hello and welcome to another episode of Suddenly Single. This week I have with me a very famous actress, Tina Malone. I think you'll all know her, best known for her role in Brookside and in Shameless, her enormous weight loss, 12 stone, and also sadly the loss of her husband Paul. Tina, hello, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for coming down. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I just wanna get out of here.
Obviously, you've had a long career, but I think what people probably would like to know about you first is your marriage to the lovely Paul
Yeah.
in 2010 and your daughter Flame.
She was born in 2013, so she's 11.
Yeah, how's she doing?
Um, difficult,
Yeah,
struggling,
yeah,
but we're extremely close. So
yeah,
we kind of, strangely, for an 11-year-old, we support each other, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have to. You have to
Yeah.
get on.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a daughter, and I think a mother-daughter bond, if it's a good one, is a very close thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I kind of feel like because Danielle, my eldest,
yes,
is in her 40s.
yes,
And so I had like a 35-year gap. So everything was very, very different. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I've had two only children, an only child and then an only child. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, just to recap, I think it's very well known, but your husband, Paul, was a former soldier who served in Afghanistan, suffered from PTSD. He was diagnosed with it. He didn't come home, and you found out that he had taken his life when
Yeah.
the police arrived at your house. But one of the things, if you don't mind, I wanted to read it, and I hope I don't upset you too
no,
much.
that's fine.
But he sent you and your daughter a text, and he said to your daughter, "I am so sorry I have left you. You lifted up my life." Oh, I'm going to get upset myself now. And then he said to you, "Please forgive me. One day you'll be up here with me and we will meet again."
Yeah.
I mean, that is possibly the most emotional way you could potentially find out that
Yeah.
had happened. I mean, do you still have those texts? Do you
Yeah,
have-
I carry them with me,
Yes,
all three of them.
you do.
And I got one of the other ones said to my most beautiful wife, "Please forgive me, you gave me our beautiful daughter and you lit up my life every time you walked into a room, and I'm so blessed to have had you, and I'm sorry I had to leave you, and I will find ways to contact you." And he has done. So we still have, it's funny I was saying this on the train to somebody, we still have his toothbrush next to ours, his gym
Aw.
bag's still in the hall, his boots are under the table, his coats hang next to ours, his aftershave's next to his side of the bed. Sorry.
No.
It's fine, I'm
sorry.
fine.
Yeah.
And even his bottle of water is next to the bed. I've never moved the bottle.
Okay.
I've hoovered around it, although the water's gone. So you take a tank of water every night to bed. Because we want to keep him alive in that way. And he is with us. He is very much with us.
One thing you and I have discussed is the fact that you are a Catholic,
Yeah,
as I am.
yeah,
I think everyone who watches this show knows that by now because
Yeah.
they do have a faith.
yeah.
And does that comfort you a lot? That
Yeah,
you do believe very much that you will see him again and he is still here?
Absolutely. I relish the thought of dying, which I know that sounds kind of crazy.
To see him again is what you mean.
Yes, but if I didn't have Flame, I wouldn't be here now.
Do you
Quite
really,
seriously.
Do you really believe
Absolutely. With pure joy. And I can say that rationally and everything else. I have to be strong and have to love and protect and ensure my youngest girl, fulfills everything in life. But no, I relish passing over, whatever you want to call it, death, whatever. I relish it. I welcome the day because I will be with him again, and that's all I live for. And yet my Catholicism, I've got friends who are pagans, Hindus, Sikhs, Zen Buddhists, Muslim, Jewish,
Yeah.
I atheist, agnostic, whatever you are, each to their own. My priest, Father Tim, sometimes he knocks at the door and I open the doors on my way out, and Mary Monkhouse, who's a support from there, and Anne and Jill and Bernard, Deacon Bernard. I'm very close to my church, and although Paul was Catholic but wasn't practicing, he did the Christmas days for the elderly with us. We used to go and feed the elderly and whatever. Christmas Day in St Mary's a couple of times, and but he understood my Catholicism. And get back to what you asked me, it is a comfort, and it has been actually better than therapy that I've had, which I can't call the therapist for that, because I'm just a bit of I'm one of those, you sit me in front of a therapist and I'm sitting there thinking, did you get a degree off the back of a cornflakes packet? And you're like 20 years younger than me, and you're going to tell me, having been a woman who's lived through everything, and I emphasise that a woman can go through everything. And you're going to tell me how to feel better about my husband hanging himself. Really? But, so, yeah, my priest lets me get angry, lets me get emotional, lets me question. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's what's done's done. And he's in a far better place than we are.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So tell us about the happy times with Paul. How did you two meet?
We met in a fat camp.
Ah, yes.
I was the
I'm gonna
celeb.
get onto that at one point.
I was the celeb who was booked for the week. And I hated him. Because
Really?
of all the trainers there. Imagine, he's 20 years younger than me.
Yes.
Fit. Just back from Afghanistan. And he's knocking on my door and saying, 15 minutes late for the white water rafting or the rock climbing. And I'm like, excuse me. I'm paid to be here for the week to endorse the product. All the other ladies go knock on their doors. I'm the celeb with my niece as a pay. I'm being paid. I'm a guest. So I will choose what I want to do. He stood at the door going, I don't care who you are. If you're not down in the barn in 10 minutes, you'll give me 20 press-ups. And I went, I'll give you a smack. And I actually complained about him.
Did you?
I actually, to the management, I said...
So it wasn't
this guy,
instant attraction?
Oh, no. I said, this guy keeps... And then what happened was, at the end of the 5 days of starvation and exercise and grilling over nutrition, what they did was, the penultimate was like kind of like an 8-mile hike uphill through the peaks and back down. Well, of course, these were all women from Holland, South Africa, London, and they're all kind of, you know, in early 30s, early 40s, all kind of put a bit of baby weight on, you know, all, the 4-wheel drive and, you know, and they want to get back into shape. And so they were all way ahead of me, you know. And I'm like that, beanie hat, morbidly obese, climbing up the hill. And what he did was he had jelly babies, and he'd get to a flag post and go, come on then, one more flag post and I'll let you have a jelly baby. And by the time we got to the top of the peak halfway, I was like, imagine, like the size of me, right? I was humongous.
We were 12 stone more than you are now.
Oh my God, you could have scooped me out and lived in me, a family of 5. And we started talking, and he was saying to me, my mum told me about you. Weren't you, have you just come out of Celebrity Big Brother? And weren't you talking about the size of your fanny? And I went, yeah. I was not talking about the size of me bits. I was talking about how when you're fat, you get a fat fanny. Like fat arms, fat neck. I wasn't talking about,
Yeah.
the details. And he went, I know when my mother told me I was howling, he went, I've never watched Shameless, I don't know who you are. And we started talking and we shared the jelly beans at the top. And he was telling me he'd been to Northern Ireland, Iraq, Belize, Afghanistan, few tours. He's very much a soldier, very proud of what he'd done. And I was like, wow, there's not much I haven't been through in life. But I can't relate to that. And then literally we finished on the Friday, and after we'd done the 8 miles, they had like a wine and cheese and certificates.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was dancing, and my niece was dancing. They had music on, and it was watching him dance. And I went,
he could move.
oh my God.
That's
yeah, he's got
attractive.
some moves.
That's attractive.
Oh, yeah. And he can move. And I was like, Anyway, that was the Friday. The following Friday, we went for a drink and ended up all weekend together. And he moved in 13 days later.
Remind
13
everybody how old he was and how old you
He
were
was
at the time.
26
Okay.
and I was 46.
Okay. And he really wanted a child.
No, I would say I did all the running with Paul, and at that age, I mean, he'd had a couple of really long-term, with a couple of different girls, long-term relationships, and done all the iron upper, lap dancers, big lad, good-looking lad. So he kind of filled his boots, and I'd more than filled my boots. I'd gone from poet to actor to copper to gangster. There's not a kind of man I haven't had. Rich, poor, on their ass, billionaire, dollar. And literally, after 13 days, I said to him, look, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm eccentric. I'm unconventional. I think I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I'm morbidly and clinically obese with a skinny girl trying to get out.
Yeah.
I want a big wedding. I want to lose weight. I want all the attention. I work hard. I drive hard. I'm driven, tenacious. If I want to iron clothes and watch The Sopranos and make a lemon cheesecake at 3 a.m, I'm going to do it. I don't answer to anyone. I'm diabetic, self-absorbed, self-obsessed, and I have bipolar diagnosed,
Yes.
and I'm a bit of a lunatic, a bit irrational, impulsive, irresponsible. And if you think you can take all that on, well then, and he just literally went, I'll give it a go. And literally, that's how laid back. And then we spent the next 10 years swimming with sharks in Hawaii, going up the Empire State in a helicopter over the canyon in Vegas, looking at the sarcophaguses in Luxor and Egypt and Cairo, partying in Marbella. There's nowhere we didn't go. Euro Disney with Flame. There's nothing we did. We both had to think about sharks, so we swam with sharks in Jamaica, reef sharks, and we had a wonderful life. We had an 8-bedroom house in Alderley Edge with a swimming pool and a games room, and life was good. Nominations. I got the gastric band. I lost 12.5 stone. I went from size 32 to now size 6. Yeah, we decided we wanted a baby, and he kind of wanted one, but he said if it didn't happen, no worries. And I went to see a surgeon on my 49th birthday in Liverpool, and I said, look, I'm 49 and I want a baby. And he went, Mr. Guzman, went, you're morbidly and clinically obese, you smoke, you've had drug issues, you are working an 80-hour week, and you're in the public eye, and you've got diabetes, you've just got rid of your diabetes, or and you're not really a candidate. I went, okay. And I went back on the day of my 50th birthday. See where I'm on the spectrum, obsessed with numbers, times, dates, whatever. On the 13th of January, my 50th birthday. And I went to him. I've handed my notice in to my show I'd been in. for 10 years that I adore. The cast, the crew, the producers, Paul Abbott, genius. And take my hair. There's no drink, drugs or nicotine in my system. Here's the money. I'm good to go. And I've lost 12 stone, 4 pounds. And he literally went, my God, you're serious. It was with Paul. And that was in the January. By April, I was pregnant in Cyprus.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, and I had twins put in too. Yeah. I lost the boy at 12 weeks.
Okay.
You know, I'm still blessed, grateful. And funny enough, Flame used to speak to him. We'd hear her speaking to him when she was 2 and 3 and 4. Shay.
Ah, Shay. So you named him.
She did. She named him.
Oh, wow.
We wanted Spike or Gabriel. Or Sebastian. Paul wanted Sebastian, I wanted Spike or Gabriel. But we'd hear her talking to him, Shay, in the bath or in her bedroom, right up to about the age of 5 and 6.
Do you ever ask her about that now?
Yes.
And does she remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she said she could see a little boy.
Yes.
And did she know it was her brother? Or
yes.
She did?
Yes.
She did.
Absolutely. So, and then we had Flame.
So what was your own childhood like? Because you're from Toxteth in Liverpool.
Yeah. A very strange background, really, because my father spoke 17 languages fluently.
I did read that about him, and I thought, well, that can't be right.
Yeah.
It is
Russian,
right.
Romanian, Mandarin, Afrikaans, Bulgarian, Czechoslovakian. He was obsessed with other cultures. So, and I grew up in a 21-roomed house.
Okay.
My mother was from a very Catholic, Irish, large family. My father was from a large family, but my nan was French and my granddad was Irish. And my father played Chopin on the piano and played the violin. And he was very eclectic, very bohemian, very middle class. And my mother was very, very beautiful. She looked like a cross, still is. Looked like a cross between Catherine Deneuve and Jean Kelly. And my dad looked like kind of Roger Moore and, Charlton Heston. So I had two beautiful looking parents, although I was quite an ugly kid. And I say that with all realism, not self-pity. Oh, God, no, I was. They are. Oh, come on.
Some people.
No, that's how people say, no bride's ugly. They are. Oh, they are. And, I mean, I lost as much weight as I could at the time because I didn't want to look like a pig in a frock. And I just didn't. I'm a realist, Siobhan. Yeah. I've never been a looker, but I'll look as good as I can with the weight off. But I've never been a pretty bird. Never have done, never will be. And that's fine because I'm funny as fuck and I'm intelligent.
Yeah.
So, you make up. I've got two beautiful, and I mean beautiful daughters, stunning, but it skipped a generation from my mum to them, but that's fine. I can live with that. I knew at 15 I've got two good looking parents and I look like shit, you know what I mean? So that's fine. But getting back to my childhood was I was loved. My parents loved me.
Well, that's the major thing,
and
right?
And they educated me.
Yeah.
And I went to Blackburn House, Liverpool Institute High School for Girls, still friends with Karen, who's my best friend, Sonia, so lots of my friends were still friends from school.
Yeah.
Edwina Curry went to my school.
Did she?
Give you an idea how posh my school was.
Oh.
But I was a pain in the arse. And I was head girl.
Oh, you were?
Voted by the pupils.
Voted
not by the teachers. But I loved the fact
Popular
that some of the
vote there,
teachers
Tina.
came to see me years later when I was at the National Theatre. Never been invited back since. But so, it's a nice touch. School days were lovely.
Yes. How did you get into acting and why acting? What inspired you?
Funnily enough, I saw an actress, Anita Harris,
Yes.
in Peter Pan at the Royal Court when I was a child.
Yes.
And was blown away by her. Icon, legend. And then I saw another actress called Millicent Martin. and she was in Robin Hood at the Royal Court. I went to my mum, I want to act. And then I became obsessed with Vanessa Redgrave and Glenda Jackson.
Oh, yes.
Because they were
Glenda
Elizabeth, Mary
Jackson.
Queen of Scots and all
Loved
that.
her.
Oh, so I went to see both of them in theatre, followed them, got their autographs, waited at the stage door, and became obsessed with people like Sarah Miles, Richard Harris, and I was a parent at the age of 18, so I couldn't go to RADA or drama school in London. So I kind of fell into it, but I worked hard. I studied under a guy called Peter Ward in Liverpool, where we did kind of creative theatre, devising for specific groups like the elderly or the homeless or children with Asperger's and autism and different groups. And you'd build a set, you'd go on tour in the van, write the show, create it all. And that was the best training, the Rathbone Theatre Unit I could have had. I hounded people, to be honest with you.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
How did you wrote letters, didn't you?
Yeah, I wrote every week to Brookside for a year. And Dorothy Andrews, the casting director, who funnily enough ended up coming to my wedding years later.
Did she?
Yeah.
Aww.
And they got me in at Brookside and kind of said, you write to us every week, because I kept writing to them saying, if you're auditioning for anything, I always say to my students now, who are incredible, write to people.
Okay.
I mean, I know we live in a different world now. You all have your phones. I will not have an iPhone. I won't have one. I have me old Nokia. I just don't believe in. I know I have to do elements of Instagram and X and all that. I even want to do. I've looked at and studied 2 years of doing a podcast, but then I think I'd probably be arrested. I'd be too contentious and too
I
controversial.
don't think you would be. I think you'd be brilliant, actually.
No, I'd cause fucking
Say it like
murder,
it
Siobhan.
is.
I know, but I'd cause murder. So I think it's best that I stay away. But the little bit I dip into social media, I'm not someone who takes photographs. I'm not someone who I don't need that validation from anything I do. As long as I feel I've done a good job, or or I'm working hard on something and I'm giving it my all. And I think 10 years in what was probably the most iconic drama, groundbreaking, Paul Abbott, George Faber, Charlie Pattinson, great producers, great writers, phenomenal. When you work in something like Shameless for 10 years and Brookside, iconic soap of them all, single drama almost, single camera. Phil Redmond was innovative before his time. And when you look at, and the likes of Sue Johnson, Anna Friel, Ricky Tomlinson came from our show, Brookside. And when you think about those things, I'm blessed to have been in those. And nowadays, sadly, society, it's all about instant, that instant kick. I do think it will come a cropper. Especially with the AI thing. I do think history repeats itself. Thank God I'll be dead and buried. But I do think it's the most dangerous, progressive and privileged thing we've ever known, the internet, social media. Yeah. But I also think it's absolutely terrifying. Terrifying.
I agree. I think, people are split on it. But do you think one of the reasons you in particular have developed a fear of it is because of the John Venables incident? Do you think that really burnt you in wanting to use social media?
I don't think I'm terrified of it. I think I have disdain for it.
Because actually you were telling the truth.
Yes, but I retweeted something or shared something, and I'm going to tell you, Siobhan, and 1 million people would tell you the truth. I have never in my life, I don't know, done a hashtag or a copy and post or an email. Yeah. Or I couldn't tell you how to order anything off Amazon or off online. I prefer to be a communicator. So I like to go into a shop and go, do you have this in this size? Can I try that on? I'm old-fashioned. I'm a dinosaur.
I don't think you are a dinosaur. I'm with
And you know what, though? I'm proud of it. I own it and I wear it. I'm not part of the Kardashian group. I don't buy into all that bullshit that's out there, you know. And another thing that I think's equally sad, I'll probably get bashed for this, is filters.
Oh, yes.
If I
filters.
look like shit,
Yeah.
you're gonna see it. I don't care. Don't put filters on me. I get young girls, little bunny rabbits and all that. But if you want to take a picture of me eating a cake, dribbling, I don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Because we all dribble over a cake
Yeah.
or whatever. It's quite ironic, really, that I do something naively, stupidly that was illegal. I shared something I was made an example of, and I still pay it every month to this date. And that's, in my, quite disgusting.
I mean, you were given a suspended prison sentence
Yep.
and quite a large fine.
And a fine. Yeah, and a large fine. And yet,
Do you mind
really,
sharing
I
how
should have
much
done
you
a
were
blowjob
fined?
video. And maybe I'd be sitting now in a house with 3 million.
Because you did have money trouble, didn't you? I mean, you
Massively.
went bankrupt at
Massively.
one point. You
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
the house.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with that. That's
No,
just
no,
because
but
I'm
you
rash and
did.
impulsive and stupid and irresponsible. And I gift when I shouldn't.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we can all be like that. I think it shows generosity of spirit, actually.
Yeah, I am
I
stupid
do.
in that way. I'm very irresponsible. If I've got my rent to pay and you tell me your car's broken down,
You'll give
I'll
me
go
your
fuck
rent.
me rent here, borrow that.
But I think that makes you a good soul, personally.
Makes me stupid though.
Well,
You know, but
it's
anyway.
given you the odd financial headache, I would say, Miss Malone.
And Paul was the complete opposite.
Was he?
Yeah. Mr. Pay it, pay it, pay it. You know, so good balance, laid back, and yeah, I'm highly strung, emotional, and you know, I miss him dearly. We miss him dearly. But I mean, interesting talking about being single.
Yes.
I guess, and I've watched some of the stuff that you've done, and I kind of, it's funny, isn't it? Women, I find, frankly, more interesting than men. I always loved men because I loved the intimacy and I loved the camaraderie, and I've always thought like a man because I didn't have my looks to dwell on, but I always thought like a man and behaved like a man. But for the first time in my life, and I've had every kind of man, trust me, that I would be allowed to say. I'm talking top dollar to bottom dollar. And there is nothing I haven't experienced.
Okay.
You know, from miscarriage to abortion to C-section to natural delivery, being an old mum, a young mum, everything. There's nothing I haven't experienced without going into any more detail because I like to protect my daughter. But I choose to be single. And whether you think I'm an ugly, mad old bat or
I
not.
do
No,
not.
not you, but anyone, right? I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I
well,
will
think
still.
that's clear.
And that's not bravado. It's
No.
not phony.
But that's always been you, even when you
Yeah.
were young, right? You were
Yeah,
very honest
absolutely.
about having a baby at 50,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the 12 stone, about
yeah.
the operations. You are a very open person.
And when I say I'm going to do something, that's why
Yeah.
you'll never hear me, Siobhan, say I'm going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro for my charity, Paul's Flame, which we've set up for veterans in crisis and people in crisis. Paul's Flame, if anyone's listening, go on and forgive to the fund. But anyway, I wouldn't say to you I'm going to climb that mountain. Do you know why? Because I know there's not a cat in hell's chance I'm going to be able to physically, mentally and emotionally do it. So, but that doesn't mean that sometimes I won't have a go at something and push myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you said to me tomorrow, what would you do? I kind of think like I'd quite happily I don't know, I'd sit in a chair and let Ricky Gervais shave my head tomorrow. tomorrow for my husband's charity. My husband served over 10 years
Yeah.
in Belize, Northern Ireland, Cyprus, Falklands, Calgary, Falklands, and Iraq, Afghanistan. He was a hero. He saved lives. He took lives. To give you some context, if I were a serial killer and I killed 5, 6, 7 people, and you put me in prison, you pay 100 grand a year minimum to keep me. And how much do you pay for me to have therapy or to, take time with practitioners to spend time with me? My husband was put from pillar to post with his depression, his irrational behaviour, his drink, his drugs, his self-medicating, his self-harming. And do you know what I got? After 10 years of him serving, do you know what I received?
No.
Nothing. Nothing.
I do a lot of work for a charity called The Not Forgotten, so I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I do think we've got it wrong. We've got 2,000 vets sleeping on our streets,
And people step over them. I've got to tell you, the Royal British Legion have been phenomenal.
Supporting you.
In visiting, in phoning, in supporting. The MOD, let's just say the air would be blue. I'm disgusted, appalled. His regiment, the 22nd Cheshire Regiment, have been phenomenal. The support from the soldiers were the first to ring me, call me from Jersey, from Widnes, from Manchester, from Liverpool. They were phenomenal. They couldn't do enough. We'll get a bugler, we'll get the flag, we'll get his cap, we'll do it. Phenomenal. My church, my daughter's school, their teachers, everybody, even Sainsbury's and my local butcher sent me flowers. Phenomenal. I didn't even get a phone call or a card or a bunch of flowers to my door. And let's face it, I'm easy to find. You can find anyone nowadays from the MOD on the acknowledgement of my husband's suicide. Nothing. Explain that to me. So anyway, trying to not be so negative, but because it's not your...
in his memory...
We've set up Paul's Flame in his memory because you're absolutely right, Siobhan. There's men in the streets, freezing, starving, using, mental health issues that we step over to help other people. And we can't help our own veterans who fought for us. What I have found out, we cannot, as civilians, begin to imagine what they see what they go through. And let me tell you this, the best quote I had from one of the soldiers, who shall remain nameless, is, and I think this sums it up, the army, the British Army, are phenomenal at teaching you how to be a soldier, but they're useless at telling you how to be a civilian. That sums it up.
Yeah. That's a very strong statement there, Tina.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not the right place to say this after what we've just spoken about, but life does move on, doesn't it? And you are in a better place now, hopefully. I think sometimes setting up things like a charity is a way of coping because we all have to find our way through these terrible situations that get thrown at us. And I believe you're never given anything that you can't cope with, and you're an extremely strong woman. Do you ever see a time where, I think that's quite sad. You're only 62. It's not old. You could live another 40 years. That you would ever not forget Paul, but move on.
No. Because in a funny kind of way, I've had enough good sex in my life to last me a lifetime.
Okay.
So, and I'm over that whole thing.
Okay.
So there's you know,
Yeah.
no porn star bedroom stuff anymore for me. Louboutins from the bathroom to the bedroom.
Okay.
No,
The Louboutins.
I've had the greatest
Yeah.
sex with quite a few men.
Yeah.
The best and the penultimate being with my darling Paul.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, we've.
But
I'm seeing things in my head now. You know, from swimming in the Caribbean to, you know, to partying in New York and Marbella and Paris and Rome and everywhere. We've had intimate moments that have been cathartic and moving and spiritual, and we've had the filthiest of moments. So no, I don't need sex anymore.
yeah.
I truly don't. I never thought I'd say that, because I was like, I used to say to Paul, I'm like the martini girl, anytime, any place, anywhere. 15 minutes before the next scene, let's go. But now, so I'm privileged to have had wonderful sex all my life. Trust me, there's nothing any of these youngsters could teach me in the bedroom or the kitchen or the living room. But companionship, I have very many big butch heterosexual men in my life, friends, companions. I have wonderful male friends, and I have wonderful gay friends in my life who do the My Fair Lady, you know, let's watch My Fair Lady with a box of chocolates in our pyjamas with a throw on the couch type.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have many close friends, but so I don't need the physical.
No, but you like
And
the companionship.
I get the emotional touch, because I think we
Yeah.
all need from my friends, my dear girlies, Tina's girlies. We are tight, 12 of
Yeah,
us. And they support me, they're honest with me. I'm very close to Paul's sister, Nicola, and her boys. So Flame's got aunties and uncles. Paul's dad stays been incredible. His mum, Sue, and his brothers, Barry and Sean. They've all been supportive, and it's amazing that. But no, do I need company? I was always, Siobhan, the kind of woman who went with a man because I wanted to. The same
Okay.
as whatever substance I chose, be it food, drink, drugs, whatever. I didn't do because I needed to, because I needed to take the edge off, or I needed to courage, or whatever. Sadly, I did them because I liked them. And the same with men. I don't need a man to live. So I get what you're saying. Life moves on. And I do cry every night. Every single night. Every night. That's why I've got eyes like a bullfrog. And I do talk to Paul every single night out loud. And I'll either throw me big telly on and have Biggie on and Tupac for him, or throw a bit of the Carpenters and Streisand for me. But I talk aloud to him every night. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm emotional. But he's the only one who'll ever... Sorry.
No. Come on, I'm gonna. Do you know
I'm
what?
fine.
I'm gonna. Come here. You need a girly hug, love. You know, come on.
Yeah. But
You had it. Listen, the other way to look at it is right. You had the love of your life. Some people never have a love of their life, and what
Yeah.
a gift he left you in Flame.
I know people who've been married 50 years who don't have... We've been married 15 next week.
Yeah.
Who don't experience what we experienced.
Exactly.
There was no... We weren't the kind of couple who went, shh, don't tell him that you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
get me wrong, I do that. How much were those shoes? Oh, 40 quid, 400. Don't tell him. Do you know what I mean? Take the Selfridges bag away. But, you know, we didn't know you got your lashes for 30 quid or your nails for 50. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
He said,
yeah.
Mum.
Yeah.
But we had a closeness.
Yeah.
There was nothing from religion to
Yeah.
politics to sex to past relation. There was nothing that you couldn't touch. We were one.
Yeah.
That you couldn't talk about. I could
Two
have
halves
mates
of one
round.
heart, right?
I could have mates round and go, no, it's all right. He's not even listening. He's on the PlayStation. He couldn't give a shit what you're telling me. He's not interested. And he'll go, ooh, girls, sure, I'm getting it. He's not. There was never, ever, let's go through your phone, who you want. I know, even when I was fat, you could put 20 naked, horny lap dancers in a room with Paul, and he would go, thanks, but no thanks.
Oh.
Because I've got sirloin steak at home.
Oh.
So, trust me. And I never, ever, he's the only husband who would go, can I go on a stag weekend? And I'd go, why don't you make it a week? Do you know what I mean? And he used to go, his mates would go, if he went out anywhere, it's 12 o'clock, why are you going up? And I'd be, why don't you stay out till 5? Because he wanted to be with me.
Yes.
And that's how we were.
And even his last message to you was that, wasn't it? It was beautiful, really.
Yeah.
So you have to hang on to the positives.
Yeah.
That
And
he
don't get
did
me
love
wrong,
you.
like you've just said, life goes on, and it does.
Yeah.
But while I sometimes feel that everybody else is, you know, it's that thing after the funeral, everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Everyone's back to normal.
Yeah.
Well, their lives go on, but my heartbreak will live forever with me.
Of course it will.
Forever. And I'll channel all my energy as positively as I can. And I'm happy to see people in love and see people romantically. I don't look at people holding hands on a beach or and go, oh, I embrace that. But I'll have it one day again with my Paul.
You know, it's only 2 years.
Yeah.
It's really, really early. And time, I believe, heals everything.
Yeah.
Not that you will ever forget him, but it will lessen. You're already starting to heal yourself, and you can't even see it. You've set up the charity.
Yeah.
You know.
Paul's flame.
Yeah. And you're there for your daughter. She's a beautiful gift, you know. I think that is amazing in itself. But what about work? Are there any things that you'd like to do at work still left undone? Any ambitions?
Yeah, there's one that's always, which I mean, there's loads of things, you know, the same as usual. I'd love to do Corrie, and I know everyone knows I've talked to them in the past or whatever. I'd love to do things like Corrie and Emma. I all respect to those actors. I'd love to go to Hollywood and work with Tarantino, but
you love
one
soaps.
of my burning things is to do the RSC.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why?
because I love Shakespeare.
Oh, yes. We talked about this earlier, and I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
That to me, because you're completely correct. While he's known now as being sort of, well, what's the word? The bard.
Yeah.
He was a very ordinary guy, writing plays a common man,
Yeah.
writing plays for common people.
And all he did was write in the vernacular, in the dialect
day, right?
that we spoke. And if you go to Yorkshire nowadays, you'll still hear people go, thee and nuts and all that. And,
Yeah.
And, you know, in Leeds and what have you. And, you know, it's just a change of language. I mean, things like Welsh are in the dictionary now. So, you know, things like gall, poison or cheek or front, that using certain words just, you know, evolve.
Yeah.
But, I've always
you know, I
fancied
think
myself as a Lady Macbeth or Hermione or even Amelia Iago. You know, they would be the dream. Idris Elba playing Othello and, say, Daniel Craig playing Iago and me playing Amelia and Nicole Kidman playing Desdemona. That'd be great.
All right. Tina Malone, I'm going to ask you to join in a game now.
Okay.
I've got a box called the Suddenly Single Honesty Box.
Yeah, I'm coming up.
People or animals? Instantly, all day long. Animals.
Why?
All day long. Because they're honest, genuine, authentic, no agenda.
Yeah.
Love my dogs, Bella and Florence and Bobby, who died, and I've always had dragons, reptiles, and
reptiles.
Oh yeah, David, my 3.5-foot lizard. Yeah,
And
he
what
died.
what was your dragon?
David.
No, but what was a dragon?
bearded dragon, but he grew
Oh,
to
a
4.5
bearded
foot
dragon.
because he had
Okay.
the run of the house.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, people or animals, animals all day long.
Okay. No, I hear you. You couldn't lock in a human and they'd be wagging their tail
Yeah.
when you came home after
No
8
agenda.
hours. No agenda.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go home
Yeah.
today
Yeah.
and, you know, any human in my house isn't going to have shit on the floor or chewed a slipper. Well, I
No.
hope not. But the dogs will have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, have that because you've annoyed me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
Where have you been, Mum?
yeah. Why has someone else been minding us? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Tina Malone, thank you for coming on to Suddenly Single this week and being so honest. You're extremely honest, and I'm sorry I've upset you.
No,
But I do
Siobhan,
appreciate it.
you haven't upset me. I embrace my emotion and my
That's the Irish in you.
yeah. You know, I like to wail
Get it
like the
out.
old cat. We had Paul's coffin in the living room, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Flame kissed him, stroked his hair, and that's what I believe in. We, you know,
You had an open coffin.
yeah. We had, of course, yeah. So, you know, she got to see her dad in that state, and that's what I wanted. And she got used to it. She was scared. Imagine being 10, and then by the last day, you know, before he was buried, she kissed him and stroked him and held his hand, and that's the way it should be, you know, that transition. But thank you for having me and making me feel so comfortable, and it's been a
You're
pleasure.
very welcome. You've been an absolute delight, and thank you
you.
for being so honest.
Coming, I'm coming